Hello, my people. Welcome back to the React Beginner series. So, in the last video, we learned how to manage data using React state. So, by God's grace, today we are learning one of the most important topics in React development, and we call it React forms. So, forms are everywhere. Like when users log in, we use form, register, searching, send messages, update profile. So different ways they interact with forms. So by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to create React forms, you'll be able to handle user input and then submit forms, prevent page refresh, then validate form data, improve user experience, and we'll also refactor our daily planner app into a more professional form structure. All right, let's get started. So this is an example of form that we have in our React today, this input and button, but we didn't put them inside form. So we just used inputs. If you check it here, so we just used input and then we use button separately, right? So to learn better, okay? So but today we are going into form. So we have to put this input and button inside a form. But we need to know, why does a form matter when we have already got what we want with input and button alone. All right. So imagine building let's say Facebook or Instagram or something without forms. So users cannot enter data. So when they just type anything inside the input, and that is all. So but with form, you will be able to submit. So forms allow users to actually interact with your application. Almost every React application uses forms. One way or the other, you will have forms. So that's why the topic is extremely important. And also, there is something we call controlled component. One of the control components is very common in React interview questions. When you go for any React interview question, it is common that you are being asked like, what is a controlled component? A controlled component is an input element, like this input element whose value is controlled by React state, right? And this is what we have here now, like this React state here. So because if you see what we have here, we have task, we have text task, and that is what we use to put our input together. We get the value from task, and then we update the value with set task. Are you getting? And we set the initial state to empty, like this, to empty, all right? So we've been able to, okay, now we want to change using just input separately and then using an on click for our button to be able to control what we have. We want to put everything inside form. Are you getting it now? So when users finish filling a form, they submit it, right? So that means form also uses a how do you call, an event handler. So just like React handles whatever you are typing inside input with on change events, and it handles button with on click event, but for form it handles it with on submit. So instead of on click or on change, we use on submit. Okay, so we want to try and put both input and the button now inside what is it called, inside a form. And we have to bring this form. Let me just cut it and bring it to the end of the button here. So let me reset everything. All right, so now we have our form here, and then input and button are inside it. Okay, so now for form, here we are going to use an event handler called on submit. And then we need to put the name of the function that will handle our submit for us. So just like we have on click here. So we use this function add task that we have created here earlier. So we created a function add task to actually use that button. But instead of using the add task to do this, we want to actually use this form to submit anything that's inside this input. All right. So let's create the function that this will work with. We're going to call the function, let's undo submit. All right. So now let's create the function since we have already created. So you can just say function undo submit. Yeah. And then let's use this to check. Let's just use console.log to say okay, submitted. And because we want to use on submit to submit now, there is no need of using on click in our button. So our button is now inside the form, so we are not using this on click again. Let's remove it, and we can just change. Let's improve this to, like, let's say add task, something like that. Okay, so now we need to test this and in using our console. So we have created that function, and what we add that function to do is to tell us if something has been submitted. So we will come here now and create a task. Let me just say reading, and then let me try to click on add task. You need to observe what is going to happen. So it refreshes immediately, like it's submitted, right? But immediately it refreshes and goes back to what it was before. So whenever we click on this button now, because the button is now inside this form. Okay, and then let me put type inside this button. I'm forgetting that. And now the type is submit. So now by just clicking on this button, because I've used this event handler inside my form and the button inside the form, so React runs this function, this particular function. So and what do I have inside that function? The only code I have inside the function is to show me in console submitted. Okay, and let me try to click add task again. So you see, so it's showing submitted, but it is refreshing immediately. So that is the problem we have to tackle now. That is a default browser behavior. Like when you submit a form, the browser refreshes the page. Are you getting that? But in React applications, we usually do not want that. Why? Because refreshing removes state, and your when refreshes remove your state, then your app restarts again. So we need to prevent that default. So to prevent that default, there is something we called prevent default, and that's what we're going to add to our undo submit function now. So I will just come here and give it a parameter of event or e. It's still the same thing. If it is ordinary, e or event is the same thing. So and then the very first thing I'm going to say event dot prevent default. With this now, if I try to submit, I'm going to see submitted without refreshing. So we have prevented that default behavior. Are you getting it now? So now there is no refresh, no reload. Our React application continues running smoothly now, no problem. Okay, so now let's go to building our task form. For our task form, we already have this here. Const task, set task, use this, right? Then the form inside our return. So we have everything in place now. All right. Okay, before we go to the next thing, let's check everything we have inside our form. So we have our on submit, and then we have, okay, the type is text. We have our value to be, we have our place, so that enter a task, then our value to be from that task function, the state. Are you getting it now? The state, then on change. So whatever we type there, so we want it to update using the set task, right? Then we have our button with just type submit and then hard task, and that is all we need inside our form. So to now update our, what is it called, our function properly. So let's come here now. Before, when we add, okay, so now this is the only function we are running here aside from the prevent default. We want this function to actually happen. Set tax. Then we want to update our set tax when this function is being run. So we want to update our array of our tax array by taking every tax and add the new tax to it. Are you getting it now? So we will just move this, and this that we have here, we said this here before to prevent. Okay, let's move it one after the other. So when we have this here now, and I just type something, so it's going to add. So it's going to add to our list of tasks just because of this function here, all right? And then we are still using console to check. So we can remove our console now. It is not necessary. But one thing is, whatever you typed here will still remain there, and we don't want that. We want it to be removed immediately we submit. So, and that is the essence of this. All right. So now we are now saying after this has happened, then set tax, update this input to empty, right? So that is what this means. So if I resubmit this now, it's not going to be there again. Let's do what we call form validation. Form validation. So form validation means checking whether user input is valid before accepting it. Like, what if the user clicks add tax without typing anything, just like I've been doing, like this? So if I just key this, it keeps adding. You have 6 tax, and meanwhile I didn't type anything there, so it keeps adding empty tax, empty tax, empty tax. So how do we validate this? So should we save an empty tax? No, we do not actually want to save it, so we need validation. So that is what takes us to empty tax validation. For the empty tax validation, we are still going to use our handle submit function. So after this, if after this whole thing, we want to say if, then the condition and our code block. All right. So if tax, that is it is this that is handling our input value. So it is this function, it is this state here that is handling our input value. So if tax is equivalent to empty, are you getting it now? So we want to alert. So let's use alert here. We want to alert, maybe please enter a tax or something, or you cannot submit an empty task, something like that. Please enter a task. All right. So if we have this here now, if I come back here and I click on this, so it's going to tell us, please enter a task. And then, okay, let's check it again. Add tax. We have 7 tags there, but please enter it. You said okay, and it keeps adding it. Oh, let this function, this if function, comes before this. Yeah. So that's how JavaScript was. So it will first work on the first line of code before it goes to the next one. So that's why it keeps adding up. So this way now it says we have 10 tasks here now. Add task, then please enter a task, and it remains 10 tasks. So unlike before, that it will have run this code before it comes to check. So this check has to come before this, right? All right. So what's the next thing we have to touch? Okay, there is one thing we need to take note of. We need to use this validation is good, but it's not the best. What if a user just put empty space like this? Can you see? So I have some spaces here, and I added. So it's going to add, say 11 tasks. So it will not bring the alert just because it's I've not put that on check, that it is checked for empty spaces and remove them. So how do I put that? By just coming here and ask dot trim. So the trim will do that magic for us. So the trim will eventually removes all the blank spaces, all the white spaces, and count only the real characters inside there. So this way, no matter, let me put some space there. So it's going to alert me because I've used dot trim. All right. So it's going to trim all the spaces and realize that nothing remains there. Okay. So now we have our daily planner working fine, working perfectly, except few things that we need to correct, that we need to use to like, we need to add some few things. We need to style it, but we are not going to style it now. But there's something you need to realize as our apps grow, because in the future we might want to add more features to it. So putting everything inside this app component, this is the component we have been using, inside this app component becomes messy. Like when you come under return now, so we have different things here. This should actually go into, let's say, a component called header. So there should be a component for header, because I might not just want to put daily planner. I might want to put other things, maybe logo or some other options inside the header. So this should go inside another component, and this task form should go into another component as well. The same thing with task list. This place where we have all the list and all of that. So as it grows, we will realize that putting everything inside this app component will make the app.js file messy. All right, so because of that, we want to start creating components. So in the next video, let's take that to the next video. In the next video, we need to start creating components for each feature that we have in our app. Today we were able to build forms, put our input and button inside the form. We were able to learn controlled components, form validation, form submission, prevent default, task validation. Then we try to have better user experience generally. All right, so now you understand how React development works. So in the next video we are going to review our entire component structure and organize our application into reusable components. Are you getting now? Like we're going to have a component for task form, another component for task list, another one for maybe header, and so on. All right, so if you find this lesson helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next React tutorial. Bye.